He's already landed. I told people this ages ago. It will just take a couple goals until that man lands. He doesn't need to do much in the game. All he needs to do is score, and he got a brace. I can't stand up. There's something about this club that rattles me. I think it's the way they scored their first goal. But I'm gonna be honest. Leeds got a welcome back to the Premier League. Emirates, nice day, good weather. You know, people chanting the Eze reception as well. It makes sense, doesn't it? It just makes total sense. Going to the Emirates when it's a beautiful day, mate. You don't want to be there. Trust me, you just don't. But 3 points, well deserved. Leeds got absolutely smacked up. Smash the likes. Subscribe if you're new. Let's talk about the game. Yeah, properly. 2 for Timber, 2 for Gyokeres, and 1 for Saka. And whatever assists, whatever. I don't really care. But Timber. See, this is why I sing his praises the way I do. Whenever it is talking about this guy over the likes of Benny Blanco or Ben White, as you people might know him, I just get used to the nicknames by now. When I get used to all of that, he just offers so much more going forward, going back, and he's just a nuisance in the air. I don't know how he's like 5'10", but that man has got a leap and he's got the knack to be where he needs to be. So yeah, Timber gets his flowers, but you lot don't care about that. Let's talk about Gyokeres. See, this is exactly why I kind of want him at United in the first place, is because when it comes down to finishing, he is elite. Look at the penalties he just took. Look at the first finish as well. I think he missed in the first half. You lot won the ball back and he pretty much slid. He didn't realize how much time he had on the ball. He could have had a hat trick today. But that's what you need. This is what you're going to get when you have a striker like that. And it will click at some point. It's just a matter of when. And he's still getting used to, obviously, Arteta's ideas, players, chemistry. Sometimes it just takes that little bit of time to land. The issue is why there's so much hate towards him, and there is a lot of hate towards him, is because rivals are expecting him to land straight away. Doesn't always happen with a lot of players, right? If that league is so crap, why does everyone have to put a mad expectation on it? Well, that's because Arsenal have high standards right now. They want to go and win the league. You know, going into this, into obviously the Premier League with a 5-0 win in your first game of the season at the Emirates. I mean, you can't really say much more than that. He done his job. That's why I look at it. It's just, as long as your number 9 is scoring goals, and if he's not scoring goals, what is he doing for the team? If you've got a collection of both, he's pretty much the best player in the world, isn't he? But the way I look at that is he done his job. He made good runs. You know, his link up was a little bit sour, I must admit, at times. But especially in the second half, he just settled. After his goal, he settled. And I kind of expect Arsenal and Gyokeres to go and do a lot more. So I don't really get onto players too much too soon that I do have like a good liking for. You know, can't deny that. And you can't deny him. He's inevitable, isn't he? And it is Leeds, don't get me wrong. We're gonna get a lot of questions. Okay, what happened against United? He didn't do nothing against United. But just let it settle. Because once the floodgates open, it's all for him. And who more than you want than that? I mean, look, let's talk about the other elephant in the room, though, other than Gyokeres. I mean, the brace was well deserved. Could have been a hat trick. Saka getting injured is the only sour taste that's going to be left with in people's mouths. Whichever way you want to take that is up to you. I don't know exactly what it will be with Saka, but the fact that he had to come off with a hamstring injury, him saying, "Oh my God, F no," as he's pulling up, you can go check for yourselves. He said something to, I think that the physio, kind of tells me that this guy's going to be injured for at least minimum 4 weeks, 5 weeks even. I don't know if he's been rushed and you can kind of tell, even in pre-season, even in the long lines of the Man United game. I think you lot would agree with me. Even today, that goal was fantastic on his right foot. But you must even admit, and you know what? Big up Declan Rice for that. People will talk about him into Wanyeri. Wanyeri filled in the shoes of Ødegaard very, very swiftly. And oh my God, I didn't even realize Ødegaard went off as well. Good thing there's an international break coming up, right? But the other issue is that you got Liverpool next week. So that's crap. That is crap. I just forgot about that. The way I kind of look at it is Wanyeri filled in the shoes very nicely. But with Saka, I think everyone can kind of see he's been like a yard off of it to his usual self. If anyone agrees, let me know, because it's just, I feel like that was going to happen at some point. I felt like something was going to happen, and Didn't want it to happen, but it did, especially in a World Cup year. England are going to need Saka. So, you know, it's unfortunate. But overall, Arsenal played well. I don't really need to kind of get into the nitty gritty of all of this about each player who done what, because you controlled the game as Arsenal should, score different types of goals as Arsenal should. The only issue I kind of had with Arsenal against Leeds in the first half was the tempo. I think the tempo was a little bit too slow, right? Like it's a typical kind of Arteta moment or an Arteta tactic where the first 15, 20 minutes, slow the tempo down, kill the game off the way, like their tempo as well, and then go and pounce. But this time, obviously, it didn't backfire or nothing. But this is when I see Arsenal move the ball quick, it is super difficult to handle them physically and technically. You know, as soon as Declan Rice started fizzing it in more to Nwaneri was the bit of I would call it the electricity that was needed in the side. Then you could see the tempo going way further up. Like Nwaneri, what he did that Ødegaard didn't do, and I thought Ødegaard was actually quite good until he came off, is that Ødegaard likes to drop too deep where Nwaneri wants to be up the pitch. And it's exactly what happened when Declan Rice fizzes it right into Nwaneri, and before you know it, Nwaneri gives a nice little layoff. Can't really do much as a fullback. You're pretty much in no man's land. You know, what are you going to do? Are you going to go to the player or are you going to backtrack? Which one is it? And obviously, I think it was Goodmanson that left back today. Caught in two minds, and that finish was not taking anything away from the finish. Goalkeeper should have done a lot better. If your goalkeeper conceded that, you'd be calling him Andre Onana. But bar that, good take in that. But the second half is really and truly, they knew Leeds was going to come at them, but it was moving the ball with tempo a little bit more, and it killed Leeds' momentum quick. And that's all I can pretty much say about that. But you can't go to the Emirates thinking you can play football. As much as I like what Leeds done against Everton, they got definitely a very good pressing team. But trying to play out from the back, trying to play long to a direct long ball when you've not really got Dan James up the pitch, let alone someone that's a bully boy. I know Joe, Peru, whatever his name is, he's not that guy to really do that. But for me, it's not going to work. They should have set up, I felt, in their mid-block to low block this time around. You know, whatever happened against Everton was never going to happen against Arsenal. They got too much power up front to really just to not ignore. I thought Madueke, you know what? I thought Madueke had an alright game. I thought he was decent. So that was a bit of a positive. It was making a lot of trouble for the right back. Don't know who it was. I don't really know all the Leeds players' names as of yet. You know what? I think I can get the right back's name up right now. Bogle, that's it. Jeremy Bogle. There you go, done. But yeah, they struggled, innit? They really did. But Max Dowman debut. See, this is probably just the more exciting part for me. You know, as soon as I hear Max Dowman was coming, I was like, okay, you know what? Arteta's trusting the youth. That's brilliant. This guy's he's doing his GCSEs this year. He's in year 11. And imagine that. He's going to go back to school in the next week or 2 weeks, week and a half. And he's going to, and all his friends he's going to tell his friends, I want a penalty for Arsenal at the Emirates on my full home debut. do you know how insane that is to say? And as you know, you can just go gloat as much as you want, but that kid is buzzing. I'm buzzing for him, to be fair. What a talent he's going to be, because he definitely came on and he made a lot of noise. You know, the volley from outside the box, winning the penalty, and there was another one as well where I feel like he could potentially nearly scored, give or take, but he was definitely just very direct and exactly what I expected of a Max Dowman. Welcome to the Premier League moment, and you're not even 16 years of age. You know, Nwaneri once upon a time had that moment, but he came on obviously for about 5 minutes. But Dowman, man, do you know what I mean? I was thinking, like, surely Declan Rice don't take this penalty, but that kid is special, man. He's so special. I can't imagine what this kid's gonna be like in the next 5 years. Of course, when we get there, we'll get there. Well, even though in 5 years, probably in the next few years, this kid, like, I think Arteta's got to question himself sometimes at the moment and say, do you trust him to play a full 90 or ease him in? I think ease him in is the best case scenario for kids, but when they're that good, you got to play them that little bit more. You know, like, don't get me wrong, today was perfect amount of time. He deserved of his chance for the preseason that he had. And Arteta is definitely very stubborn and he's got a lot of his favourites. But he had to look towards the bench. And you know what? If he can rely on Dowman to do something, especially in home games and not nasty away games, like let's say it's a Newcastle, but the kid's only going to get better and better and better. He took his chance well, and I think Arsenal fans took to him as well. On top of that, good thing for next week though, even if Erdegaard's not there, there's Eze. There is Eze, and you know what? If you do mix that in with Wanyeri, maybe Wanyeri covers the right hand side going into that game. You got a bit more of a direct attack. So it'll be interesting to see what happens for next week. But anyways, guys, make sure you smash the likes. Let me know who you're impressed with. I think Declan Rice got back to his best for sure. Calafiori was very decent. His link up was very nice. Gabriel Saliba's standard procedure. But yeah, other than that, yeah, well won. I must admit, I hate you lot. I really do. And I hate talking praise about my rivals, but got to run the channel the way it needs to be ran. Yeah, good win, man. 6 points. Let's see what you can do next week, because I really need you lot to beat Liverpool. Seriously. I hope Newcastle can do a job as well. But in a bit, smash the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Love.